Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. I thought today I would take just a minute to go through these ATCs because they were so much fun to make. These are from Pages Unbound, the mixed media art retreat that I hosted a couple of weeks ago. And each person, we did this on the second day, and each person created a master board and then cut it into ATCs and then swapped them. And they're all written on the back. Um, so that we have just a little piece of each other. I think it's so nice when artists can kind of get together and kind of share their ideas and share a little bit of their art. Now, we did not have a lot of time to work on this. It was one of many projects that we did, so some of them are a little bit unfinished. But I did think that it would be fun to go through and kind of look at each one. We talked a lot about color palettes over the course of the weekend. We talked about choosing a color palette that was cohesive, and we talked about mark making and building collage layers. So each one of these highlights some of the different things that we talked about. This is Rachel's ATC. If you're not familiar, ATC stands for Artist Trading Cards, and they're usually 2.5 by 3.5, and you make them to swap. So when you make one, generally you'll make kind of a series of them, sort of all like several of them together. Let me see if I have an example. So, this is kind of an example of a set of ATCs that I have made in the past. And these were actually made on playing cards. So, I'm not sure if the size is exactly right. But you can see that each one of these, although they are different, they all feel very cohesive. So, typically, that's what you do. You make a set. And in our case, we made like 15 or 18 of them, and then we kind of handed them out, or let people choose the ones that they liked. So several people have one of Rachel's cards, and they all look similar to this, maybe with different details. Then we have Barbara's. This was Barbara's card. Barbara is an experienced artist and has just absolutely went to town making her backgrounds so detailed and filled in with lots of mark making and lots of color. And so I love this. I love the darkened edges and the word and the focal point. She got a little farther along in her card than many of us did in the time that we had. This one is, I want to say this is Peggy's. Yep, this is Peggy's card. And it doesn't have a focal image or words on it yet. We didn't get that far, it looks like, but I love the color palette. I love how well these colors go together and how we have this little pop of this iridescent color coming through. There was obviously some stenciling and some mark making happening. Just a really gorgeous card base. This is Kim's card. She chose a really nice color palette. I love the blue with the green. And the texture of this little fabric piece underneath her main focal word is just gorgeous with a little pearl. I love it. All right, this one was, let me think if I can remember. I want to say Chad. Yes. This was Chad's, and again, we have a beautiful background here, really nice color palette, lots of mark making, and I love the little pops of metallic gold and kind of this champagne-y color. So I love that background. This one is Marsha's, and it looks like she was using sprays or maybe splatter because there's definitely some splatter coming through. There's also over here in this corner, there is some stenciling. It's a little hard to make out, but there's definitely some stenciling happening on here, as well as the stamp. It's like pocket watch stamp with the words "Live Boldly." I love it. I love the color palette. The blue really makes the rest of this neutral palette just pop. I love it. Then we've got, I want to say Rebecca. Um, yep, this one's Rebecca's. And I love how she went for the bright metallics. There's like a copper background and then more metallic on the washi tape that she used. Um, This is such a fun little project where you just kind of create a whole sheet and then you cut it up. And you don't know what you're going to get on any one of the pieces, especially if you turn it upside down and cut it. So I just think this is great. I love it. And I love the idea of embracing change too, because that's a good reminder that we all need. This one belongs to, I want to say, oh, Jen. I think this one's Jen's. Yep. So we have some gorgeous colors happening in the background here. A nice analogous blue, purple, and then some highlights of green. And I love how the green of this star pulls in the green of these little background elements. Some nice circles and even a little bit of gold splatter happening as well. So it's a gorgeous background as well. Really nice. I love the reds on this one. I want to say this one is Tracy's. Yep, this is Tracy's. And I love the red and the gold, the background, the with the white handwriting. And this little focal image, it looks like a magazine image, something cut out of a magazine with the word dance, is perfect for the colors on this card. I really love it. And the little white edge just makes that focal image pop. So this is a gorgeous little ATC. And this one is Missy's. And I would not call this an analogous color palette, but I love it. I am just I blown away by how all these colors work well together. They definitely span the color palette, and I tend to lean into a more analogous color palette where the colors are a little closer together on the color wheel. This one reminds me of one of the color cards from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cube, where you don't expect all the colors to look nice together, but they do. I will say these are almost all warm colors, and so I think that's maybe what pulls them together. But I love it. I am surprised by it, and that's why I love it. Um, this one is, I want to say Stacy's. So Stacy actually did both sides of hers. So she's got this flower on the front, and on the back is, I don't know if you can see the texture. It's almost like netting or fabric of some kind on the back over top of the mark making. And I love the metallic accents on that. As long as I also am a big fan of like this like partial transition where you've got one thing on one side, one thing on another, and then you have like a focal image in the middle. That's an absolute favorite strategy of mine. These are Melissa's, and I love the analogous background with the little pop of this. It looks like it's very iridescent depending on how it doesn't look like the camera's really picking it up. It almost looks pink, like really, really vibrantly pink in person when you tilt the card the right way. So I absolutely love that. There's some great mark making on the back here, and I love the focal image. Whoop. This one is Nancy's card, and she's one of the only ones who picked a yellow color palette. I love that. So we have some yellows, we've got some collage happening in the background, and lots of iridescent metallics. This, I think, is maybe another example of that champagne color that is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love that Nancy picked her focal images up and bumped them up on some foam. So they kind of stand up and there's some dimensional, like shape depth to the cards. I love that. There's a little heart in the background and a little here and a little bird here on the front. And on the back, she's written birds of a feather flock together. So I love that. It's a great sentiment for our weekend together. We had a whole room full of little artists flocking together. This is Anita's card, and the thing that strikes me the most if you just look right at it, is that she's kind of got some pieces sort of spilling over the edge of her card. And what a creative way to approach ATCs. I absolutely love this, Pages Unbound, right? Kind of like idea that we are not bound by the edge of the ATC, that we can kind of extend beyond it and spill off into the void. It just really makes me happy. And I chose this one specifically because I love this sentiment to fall in love with as many things as possible. Because what on earth are we doing with our lives if we're not doing that? So I loved that one too. And then these are mine. I went with a color palette that is very comfortable and familiar with me. I've got some sprays in the background, some washes of color, and then some Stabilo handwriting. I also have done some foiling across the cards. So that's what this shiny stuff is. I have a focal image here that is a little die cut of a cat, die cut out of gold wrapping paper. And then I darkened up my edges with a Stabilo because I like that detailing. I didn't get to the point where I had a focal word on each one, but it's just a cute little card even without a focal word. So those are the ATCs that we swapped at Pages Unbound. It was a really fun time. ATCs are a lot of fun. If you haven't tried them, I thought this was maybe just a nice opportunity for you to kind of get a sense of what an ATC is and all the different possibilities. If you wanted to make these, like it's pretty endless in terms of what you can do. I'm running out of room on camera. I'm gonna have to give myself a little more space. So, if you've been interested in ATCs before, but you've just never really like followed through, then this is maybe a great way for you to be inspired by some ATCs that we made recently. All right, folks, this was a quick one. I am still deep in the midst of cleaning my space up. I'm hoping to tackle a pretty big project over the next couple of weeks, but I just need to get a little bit more work done in the space before I jump on that, and that's why I decided to do a little quick almost a flip through. It wasn't really flipping. Um all right, have a great day. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.